The Goo Goo Dolls that I was listening to earlier this morning after I finished listening to a few songs that I hadn't listened to from the album A Boy Named Goo, which I thought was a tremendous album. I chose to listen to an album from the band called the Goo Goo Dolls, and the album is also called Goo Goo Dolls. And I must admit, to me, the album Goo Goo Dolls by the band The Goo Goo Dolls was a below average album. Now, the reason I'm saying it was a below average album, I love the Goo Goo Dolls. The concert that me and my girlfriend went to see on the 20th of last month when Thursday Merc and the Goo Goo Dolls performed at the AS Arena in Canberra, which was the first tour they did in my hometown. So I didn't really have to travel very far for that. They performed some legendary songs. Just my personal preference, I thought the Goo Goo Dolls album called Goo Goo Dolls was too quick. I felt like the songs were too quick. I didn't really like that many of the songs on the album. I thought they were a bit on the meh side of things. However, I didn't really mind the cover they did of Don't Fear the Reaper. I thought that song of Don't Fear the Reaper was probably the best song on that album. So I probably wouldn't really listen to the album by the band The Goo Goo Dolls called Goo Goo Dolls again. I thought that the album was a bit, yeah, it wasn't the best of albums. But I can definitely understand if it was their first ever album and they just started out as a band. Like, there were some okay songs on that album, but I wouldn't call it the best ever album. Whereas I would call Dizzy Up the Gill one of their greatest albums ever. And I would say the same for A Boy Named Goo. I would definitely say that is a good album by the band The Goo Goo Dolls. Whereas the album Goo Goo Dolls by the band The Goo Goo Dolls was too fast for me. I felt like when one song started, next you hear another song, then another song, then another song. Like, I get if it was their first ever album and they were a new band starting out, but they've had better albums and better songs since then. And I hope I don't get criticized for saying that, because I think the band is awesome, and I cannot wait to see how I feel about other albums by the Goo Goo Dolls as well. So, I really wanted to do a review on this album. At first, I was going to do A Boy Named Goo, which I am definitely going to be reviewing that album as well. But I decided to review my least favorite of the band's albums, which was called plainly Goo Goo Dolls. And if you haven't checked out that album, you definitely can. It's on Spotify. And just a warning, I don't love all the songs. There's maybe two or three songs that I thought, yeah, they were okay, but it's not a fantastic album. It's not an album that you're going to put on and fall in love with. Unless, of course, you're starting out and it's your first ever time you've listened to Goo Goo Dolls, or unless you were back in the past and this is the album that made you fall in love with the Goo Goo Dolls. Just personally, I've heard songs at the concert when me and my girlfriend went to the concert, and I didn't hear any of the songs from this album. Thank goodness for that, actually, because it was, like I said, an album that I didn't think was very good. Yes, I felt the album was not the best of albums that they have. I think there's so many better albums and so many better songs that have better lyrics and better meaning behind their songs. And in saying that, I'm going to be giving the album by the band The Goo Goo Dolls, called Goo Goo Dolls, a 2.5 out of 10. That's just how I felt about that album. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.